Shalom. Can you say shalom? That's how you greet people in Hebrew. Welcome to Patrika's Little Star Cafe. Facts that are fast, fun, and keep you happy. Today is Thursday, September 12th, 2019, and here are today's matters for chatter. Number 1. Many Arab countries like Jordan, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia are angered that Israel openly stated it wants to annex the West Bank areas of the Jordan Valley and the northern part of the Dead Sea. Although it controls the area anyways, Israel claiming that it will definitely be a part of Israel is controversial because Palestine wants to make the exact area a separate country too. It is indeed one of the global hotspots. Let's hope that peace will be restored soon. Number 2. The body of former President of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, will be flown to Harare in Zimbabwe from Singapore. The 87-year-old leader was in Singapore for treatment, but passed away last week. He was Zimbabwe's leader for 37 years, since it became an independent country in 1980. While some hail him as a hero, most are relieved that the corruption days are over. But what is evident is that if the president has to be flown out of the country for medical care, then the country needs to work on its health care. Number 3. Talking about Singapore and Malaysia are covered in unprecedented levels of pollution as forest fires rage in nearby Indonesia. And they were started for the same reason as in Brazil, by farmers to clear land. For instance, the record high API or measure of pollution in Singapore is 151, whereas it was just 7 in New York City and 24 in London and 50 even in Beijing, which is known to have bad air quality. So yeah, it's a pretty bad scene. And now for today's mega matter. The Japanese government has a very tough decision to make. Shall it continue to store the harmful radioactive water that is leaking from the nuclear power reactor in Fukushima, or shall it dump it into the Pacific Ocean? The Fukushima nuclear reactor was damaged when an earthquake and tsunami struck Japan in 2011. While the damage leaked many radioactive substances in the area and hurt people, the government is still trying to control the ongoing leaks. While other radioactive substances have been rid of, tritium remains, and the government is saying that if it chooses to dump the contaminated water in the Pacific, it won't cause harm to humans and animals, as it's a huge ocean and will be diluted. But farmers, fishermen, and other neighboring Pacific countries are enraged. If you were its premier, what would you do? Today's word of the day is contaminated, which is fancy for sullied or infected. And finally, for today's quote of the day, why do we have to listen to our hearts? Because wherever your heart is, that is where you all find your treasure. That's a quote by famous writer Paulo Coelho. Thank you for listening, and do send us your questions and comments via WhatsApp, or you can email us at diptyauntie@gmail.com. Take care, lots of love, Dipti Auntie. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Do you know how loved you are?